Before you continue listening to this message, pause for a moment, because this is not random. Jesus wants to speak to someone who has been carrying a heavy burden for a long time. You have been asking questions that no one else knows about. You have been praying quietly in the middle of the night, wondering if heaven is listening. There have been moments when you felt strong in faith, but there have also been moments when your heart felt tired and discouraged. You kept believing, yet something inside you wondered why this season has been so difficult. And Jesus says to you today, my child, I have not forgotten you. I have not abandoned you. Even in the moments when it felt like heaven was silent, I was closer to you than you realized. You see, the seasons that feel the most confusing are often the seasons when I am doing the deepest work in your life. When everything seems calm and comfortable, people rarely grow. But when circumstances stretch your faith and force you to depend on me, something powerful begins to develop inside your heart. That is what has been happening in your life. You thought you would just survive in a difficult season, but I have been shaping your character, strengthening your faith, and preparing you for something that you could not have handled before. Many people pray for blessings, but they are not prepared for the responsibility that comes with those blessings. I love you too much to give you something that would destroy you if your heart was not ready for it. So, before the breakthrough comes, there's often a process. Before the door opens, there is preparation. Before the promotion happens, there is refinement. Okay? And that is the season you have been walking through. Okay? You have faced moments that made you question yourself. There were situations that felt unfair. You watched other people move forward while you felt like you were standing still. Sometimes you wondered if you missed an opportunity or made a mistake somewhere along the way. But what you did not see is that I was protecting you from things that would have hurt your future. Not every closed door is rejection. Sometimes it is protection. Sometimes it is redirection. Sometimes it is my way of leading you towards something far better than what you are asking for. Think about the disciples when they were caught in a storm on the Sea of Galilee. The waves were crashing into the boat, and the wind was terrifying. The disciples thought they were about to drown. In that moment, they looked at Jesus and cried out, "Teacher, do you not care that we are perishing?" But Jesus was not worried about the storm because he already knew how the story would end. When he stood up and spoke peace to the wind and the waves, everything changed in an instant. What looked like a disaster became a demonstration of his power. The same thing is true in your life. The storm you are facing right now does not surprise Jesus. He already sees the other side of it. He already knows how your story will unfold. Even though the situation feels overwhelming, the outcome is not uncertain in heaven. Jesus is still in control. There are things happening behind the scenes of your life that you cannot see with natural eyes. Conversations are happening about you. Opportunities are being prepared. People are being positioned to help you at the right moment. The answer to your prayers is not always visible immediately because God often works in ways that unfold over time. Seeds planted in faith do not grow overnight, but they do grow. And one day, what was happening quietly beneath the surface suddenly becomes visible. Many people give up just before their breakthrough arrives because they mistake the waiting season for a losing season. But waiting does not mean losing. Waiting often means something important is still being prepared. Look at the story of Joseph in the Bible. He spent years in situations that felt completely unfair. He was betrayed by his own brothers, falsely accused, and thrown into prison. If you looked at Joseph's life during those years, it might have seemed like God's promises were failing. But every difficult moment was actually positioning Joseph for the future God had planned. When the time finally came, Joseph went from prisoner to leader in a single day. That is how God works. Long seasons of preparation followed by moments of sudden change. Your life may be closer to that moment than you realize. The enemy often attacks people the hardest right before something good happens in their lives because he wants them to give up too early. He whispers lies that nothing will change. He tries to convince you that your prayers are pointless and your faith is wasted. But those thoughts are not coming from God. Jesus is not the author of discouragement. He is the source of hope. And today, Jesus wants you to remember that He has carried you through every difficult moment you have faced so far. Think about all the things you once believed you could not survive. Yet, you are still here. You are still breathing. You are still standing. That alone is proof that God has been sustaining you even when you did not realize it. There were moments when you felt completely alone, but heaven was watching over you. There were situations that could have ended much worse, but God quietly intervened. Sometimes protection looks like silence because you never see the danger that was removed from your path. One day, you will look back at this season and understand things that do not make sense right now. You will realize that what felt like a delay was actually perfect timing. You will see that the doors that closed were leading you toward better opportunities. You will recognize that the pain you experience developed compassion and strength that will allow you to help other people who are struggling. Your story is not only about you. The lessons you are learning now will become the encouragement someone else needs in the future. There are people you have never met who will one day hear your story and find hope because of it. They will realize that if Jesus helped you overcome your struggles, He can help them overcome theirs too. That is why your breakthrough matters more than you realize. It is not just about solving a problem. It is about showing others that faith in Jesus is real and powerful. And this is the part many people do not understand. God does not always remove the storm immediately because sometimes the storm reveals the strength that was already growing inside you. The disciples did not know the authority of Jesus over the wind and waves until they saw Him calm the storm. Your current season may be revealing something about God that you could not learn any other way. Maybe you were discovering that His peace can exist even in uncertainty. Maybe you are learning that His presence is enough even when circumstances are difficult. Maybe you are realizing that your identity is not defined by your struggles, but by your relationship with Christ. Those lessons are more valuable than temporary comfort because they will shape your life for years to come. So, do not lose hope in this moment. Do not allow discouragement to convince you that the story is over. Jesus is still writing the next chapter of your life. The season you are in right now may feel like the middle of the story, but the ending has not been revealed yet. And Jesus specializes in turning impossible situations into powerful testimonies. When people look at your life in the future, they will not just see the struggles you went through. They will see the faith that carried you through them. They will see how God turned pain into purpose and confusion into clarity. And they will realize that Jesus never left your side, even when the journey was difficult. So if you feel tired today, take a moment and breathe. Jesus is still with you. If you feel uncertain about the future, remember that God sees what you cannot see. If you feel discouraged, hold on to faith a little longer because the story is not finished yet. Your breakthrough may be closer than you think, and when it arrives, you will understand why every step of this journey mattered.